Good morning and welcome to Morning at NTV. My name is Shantos Ssekito and it's 20 minutes past 8 a.m. I know it's drizzling a little bit, but get out of bed and do some work. It's Friday, so if you don't have some money, it's your chance to make some money for the weekend and probably enjoy it. Don't get depressed. Encourage yourself. But right about now, in our Kickstart segment, we are talking about sound art. What is sound art? What does it mean to you? Do you even know about it? I have wonderful, intelligent guests in studio who I don't want to introduce, but I'll let them introduce themselves. Starting from Andrew, my favorite Andrew. Andrew, good morning.
Good morning.
Please introduce yourself so that the people understand how intelligent, how knowledgeable, how you are the right person to be here talking about sound.
Oh, that's a very difficult question.
Yeah.
I will attempt to do it. Well, I'm Andrew Ahuurra.
Yes.
I'm the team lead at Quad A. Quad A is an audio solution facility. We offer solutions from the filmmaking process, production and post-production, but we specialize in post-production. And well, I did study and got certified in production and also certified in post-production. And we are the first Dolby Atmos enabled facility in East Africa. And what that essentially means is that we can offer premium audio solutions to the rest of the entire continent, which is so much needed today.
Yeah.
So much needed today, especially for Africa to be competitive on the global scale.
True.
So we offer audio post-production for games, for TV shows, for documentaries, and lately we actually launched our first product called XP Africa. So what XP Africa is a sound library, a music library, where content creators, influencers, filmmakers, anyone who is making content guys can just go and download authentic African music for very, very cheap. Like you can go and get whatever soundtrack you want to use of African music on for your project. So I've been in sound for over 20 years now, and I love, like you can wake me up in the morning. It's very early, like I woke up early today, but you can wake me up and I will talk about sound. I love sound because I think sound is one of those things that transcends space and time. I do not need to convince you about something. I can manipulate you to feel a certain way using sound. Sound is the only thing that tells you there's danger outside before seeing the danger, smelling the danger, feeling the danger. It's the most important sense that we have, and I feel that it is not appreciated that much. So thank you so much for inviting us today.
Well spoken for the viewers you've had. The accolades, the experience, everything. So he is the right man to be talking about sound. And our guest in the middle, Shantos, please.
Our viewers, my name is Shantos Ssekito. I am a freelance production mixer. Prefer to call myself a recordist. What Andrew works with, especially in film, is what I give him. So when I am on set, on a film set or a documentary set, I am the person or the man in charge of.
So would I say, without you, Andrew has no job?
Yeah, you can actually say that because I send him what to work with. So for a documentary set or a film set, I am the man in charge of capturing or recording all the dialogues and everything sound that happens on set. So then I'll send it to him to take it through another process to make sure it sounds crispy, nice and clear.
All right.
So I've been at it for quite some time. 17 years of doing this. And just like my brother Andrew said, I breathe and eat sound. I love it. You can wake me up in the middle of the night and tell me, let's go to set and work.
What we want to hear.
So what I'll do, I'll just get my gear and we'll get rolling. I am so glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for coming through. And this man, I'll just introduce.
just
Andrew Kaggwa, usual suspect, entertainment journalist. CBA.
Yeah, Yeah, there is more.
Explain yourself.
Arts and culture journalist, not just entertainment. Come on. Yeah, but still, it's great to be here because I think yesterday I was having a conversation with a friend of mine. Yeah. She's a producer called Pamela, and we were talking about how people do not respect sound enough, even when it's the most important thing. You need to get that film project rolling. So glad to be here.
All right. I thought you were going to say a landlord, owner of a Jeep. You didn't mention.
He wanted to know that.
Well, if you have just heard us, we are talking spatial and temporal dimensions of sound art. Now, sound art is quite important in the world of entertainment. Even right now, you're listening to me, this is sound. Yeah. There are engineers downstairs who are working so hard to make sure that every single thing that I say, you hear the right way, the right volume, the right BPM. There's so much that goes through production to hear the sound the way you hear it. Well, if you have some experience and you want to share your thoughts, go to our social media platforms. That is on X, which is Twitter. Go to Facebook. Look out for Instagram, TikTok, and type in NTV Uganda. Use the hashtag Morning at NTV. Tell me, what is your experience about sound? Let's get into it. Andrew, I'll start with you.
Oh, me?
Yes. Are these people needed in our industry?
Very good question.
Very important.
Why?
Very important. Have you ever tried to watch a film without sound?
The silent film era.
Or have you ever tried to watch a film with the wrong sound? It's raining, but you hear cars are moving.
Yeah. I've seen some of those.
You can trust me, the way you feel about that. Like by the time I became a journalist, people were fantasizing about cameras. That was around 2015. Like everyone was talking about the camera they were using. Like they would tell you, I'm shooting a film, and you're like, what is it about? I'm using a red. And then that will be it. But when we went to see these films at that time, the biggest problem most of them had was the sound. I still remember there was a film where there was, I think, a team cheering when they were supposed to be in a forest. I've never forgotten that because like we were in a forest and then there was a team cheering. Because I was called in one of those pre-selections when they were supposed to put films, I think, in a certain festival. And when that happened, we all looked at each other like, what has just happened? So the thing about sound is it gives you a feel. It makes you think. As I said, you notice a danger before it actually happens. And sound basically tells the story the way the person wants to tell the story. Like I could just be walking and they will not capture my footsteps simply because it's not important to the story at that time. When it's important to the story, trust me, you will hear the footsteps and you'll feel something. So like sound guys are needed. Like, so to answer your question, yes,
they are needed.
They are needed.
They're very important people. Shantos, since we have established that you are important.
Yes, we are. It's very important, actually. You cannot dwell with us.
Just explain to the viewers what sound art is.
Sound art, how I would explain it to the viewers is, for me, I am tasked to record what happens on a set. What happens on set is much more than just a dialogue. The surrounding of that set is important. Because it doesn't make sense for me to record an ambience of birds going around, of traffic, and yet what you see on the screen is somebody in an office. You see? So sound art is very important because it drives you into a scene. It drives you into a being or a set of activity that's happening. For somebody who's watching, you can actually see something on the screen, but it's also important for you to hear what is actually happening in that scene that you're seeing on the screen. So sound art is very important, and it's key in driving a scene or in driving a story, or taking the audience where you want the audience to go, as a director of a film or a documentary.
Andrew, Ahuurra, as a sound engineer, what do you do?
Well, it's multifaceted.
Yeah.
It has many layers. You know, audio production is different from audio post-production, and it also depends on what you're doing. So there's audio production for music, like for musicians, where you get people, you get an artist, let's say an artist, you produce the artist, compose music for that track, record. After recording, you mix the voices with the instruments, balance them, master it so that after mastering it sounds the same with other songs being played on radio. That is audio production for artists. Then there is audio post-production and audio production for film, TVs, and all these different shows that you see. That is a bit more complex, and it has begun to become more complex because of the detail or the level of separation you need. You see, our ears, the way we were made, is so amazing. Our ears have internal mixers within them.
Yes.
I can be able to just focus on your voice even if my colleagues here are talking at the same time. My brain has the ability to just zone in on you and focus on you. That's an internal mixer. So what the human beings did is that they made sure that we can have that level of control over nature. Because nature is, right now nature is talking, you can't control nature. But when he captures the sound on set, when it's brought to, so audio post-production and audio production for film, as an audio engineer, my job is to make sure that you focus on the right things, that the audience focuses on the right things. Because you can have traffic passing by, as you say, you can have rain pouring, but if I give you all those elements at once, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
So I need to create separation, and that's why it's important to have that separation. And I think people don't understand this. You're right. It's not just about get a good camera and shoot. You are selling half the experience.
Yes.
The full experience is you having proper visuals, well color graded, so that the eyes are zoned in. But the eyes need to work together with the sound. That's what life is.
Yeah.
True.
So for us to understand, we need to know that it's a full experience to have visuals and audio. So my job when it comes to audio post-production and audio production in the film process is to help classify dialogue, nature, the sound effects, environments, Foley, what we call Foley. Foley is human interaction with objects. Me holding things, that's re-recorded. And why do you want to create separation? Imagine us getting a cup and talking at the same time or clapping. Well, it's hard to separate. So we record that differently, record my dialogue differently, and then put music in the background to manipulate you.
To create a mood and
to create a mood.
All these emotions.
Exactly, because you have just an hour. When you go to cinema, you have an hour to tell 100 years of a story. 100 years, but you tell it in 1 hour. How do you do that? It's not easy unless you use manipulation like music. So my job as an audio engineer is to make sure I help the audience or whoever is going to receive this content focus.
Andrew Kaggwa, I want to bring you in. We go, as Andrew has mentioned, we go to the cinema to watch these wonderful movies, let them be from Hollywood or Ugawood. Then we go to events, to watch our favorite artists sing. Then sometimes we are watching maybe somebody do a poem or here and there. In your analysis as a journalist who has been reporting on entertainment for so long and culture, do you feel we are at the level that we need to be in terms of the contribution that the sound sector, the sound art has contributed to the music industry, entertainment industry as a whole. Are we there yet? Where we need to be?
Are we there yet? I think it's a yes and no. In this industry of audio production, sound and everything, you always have people that are doing amazing, and then you always have people that like you listen to and you're like, wait,
why?
Did they just do that? So, so it's this and this.
Yeah.
You have people that will do amazing work. Like I've seen his films, and you listen and you're like, this did an amazing job. But then next year, where you think things are supposed to be going forward, you watch a film and you'll be shocked with the bad sound that will be in there. So technology-wise, we've gotten there. When it comes to human resource, we have people that can do it. I don't think they're just enough. And then when it comes to being informed, people are yet to actually appreciate what sounds actually adds to their... And yet, then the funny thing is that what they don't really understand is, be it theater or film, sound is the only thing that goes on for the entire film. Like, the film can go black, but sound is the only thing that will go on from the beginning
to the end.
To the end. To that last credit, sound will be on.
Interesting. Interesting stuff. Shantos.
Yes.
What are some of the challenges you think the sound art sector in the industry is facing, and why aren't we having a constant development or evolution, as Andrew was mentioning earlier, of improving? The curve, why is it up and down?
I will not talk largely in terms of sound as in the whole of art, but I will zero down to what I'm involved in, which is film.
Yes.
There are quite a bit of challenges, and these challenges have become less and less over the years. Like, for example, when I started out, the biggest challenge was gear, equipment. Now that has been dealt with. I can tell you right now that we have the right equipment to use on a set to produce the best production sound that we can. And then we had a challenge of personnel. That has since changed. Some of us who have been around for some years, we've grown networks, we've grown, we've mentored people, we've encouraged young men and women to get involved in the film business and to get the right thing done. But right now, I think what is most important is the producers of these films and documentaries that are yet to appreciate the importance of getting the right sound on a production. Just like my colleague here said, that many times you see a production on air and the production values are way up there in terms of audio, in terms of visuals, in terms of lighting. But then when it comes to sound, that's where the challenge is, because they probably hired the next young man on the street to do the job, or after getting the best camera in the land, after getting the best lighting technician in the land, that's when they were like, oh, we actually need someone to do the sound. Who among you can actually do this? So they just pick randomly somewhere, maybe a relative, a brother, who can hold a microphone. I call it hold a microphone because what I do is more than just holding a microphone. So what some of our producers do is just call the next young man standing by to say, you know, just hold this microphone and just point it to that person. Can you hear something?
Hey.
Can you hear him say something? Yeah, okay, then record that. And that's the biggest challenge that we are facing right now, because the people who know what to do are now there. The equipment is here. We've been able to import the right equipment for the job. But I think the producers don't want to pay the right people to do the job.
Earlier, Andrew talked about music, how music manipulates. And funny thing is, I think 90% of our films do not have music.
That's true. Actually, more than 90, I would say.
More than 90 do not have music. And you see, there is something that's happening with the art industry. Like, theater is very organized. Like, theater people do things and you're like, whoa, what just happened? I felt things I rarely feel when I watch Ugandan films, but I felt them when I watched She Loves Me and Phantom of the Opera. Phantom of the Opera had a live orchestra.
Nice.
And like that orchestra was playing when there was tension, and it was weird. Like, the way you felt when they played the music.
Yes.
Like you can remember that experience
Yes.
even right now when you're just talking about it. So like most of our people do not appreciate music. When you tell them about music, they think they will get someone, say if the film is called Ngude Musobi, like they'll get someone who will sing like a song Ngude Musobi, and then they will play it. Oh, Ensobi.
They will dab it and loop it and
yes.
Remind you of the title of the film.
Oh, good Musobi. Andrew Ahuurra, as we come to the conclusion of this conversation, from what Shantos is saying and what Kaggwa is saying, is that there's a lack of appreciation of professionalism in the industry for the sound of art. How do we sensitize the filmmakers, the musicians, the concert organizers, Baby Vulu, all these people, to understand the importance and why sound needs to be taken seriously?
It all starts with coming together. And the cool thing is right now we have what we call the Sound Authors Engineers Guild.
Yeah.
We have a guild of audio engineers. He's a part of it, I'm a part of it. Many esteemed audio engineers in this country are a part of that guild. And what we're doing in that guild is we're equipping each other. We are working together with stakeholders, trying to reach out to stakeholders, just to sensitize them and say, guys, this is what we need to be paid, but not only be paid, this is what you guys need to take your productions to compete globally.
Right.
Because if you do not compete globally, you will not get value. Perceived value comes from what your production looks like or sounds like. This thing is valuable. If you do not pay attention to your sound, you don't pay attention to what your visuals are going to look like, and all the other different film elements or in your content, it loses value. So education, educating the mass. Like for example, what we're doing here together. And thank you so much. That's why I said thank you for calling us, because it's one of those things where you're like, sound, it's an afterthought. It should not be an afterthought. This is not an afterthought. You have to have the right elements to make sure the people enjoy the full experience of what you want to put across. So education is very important. We need to educate each other. We need to have more stakeholder engagements, have more PR like this, talk about it, drum it down, and then challenge one another. Say that this was not good. You can do better. You can do better. Have engagements with different sectors where we can grow and challenge one another. But also we need to stop seeing this and we need to work together. I need to hold Shantos' hands. Shantos needs to hold someone else's hands. We need to come together to show the industry that this is something that will help put the entire industry on the map. Because if we do not come together, show cause and show that this is important, I think people are going to keep on looking at us like a laughing joke. Like these people are not serious, they are not unified, they don't have, but we are.
Just so you know, we are hired last. Sound department is the department that is hired last. So after they've gotten the best camera, they've gotten the best actors, they've gotten the best.
And you're like, we forgot about sound.
We need sound. Who is around? Who is around? In that regard, I would like to also tell our viewers that 10th of December, I have an interaction or a workshop at the National Theatre where I am going to be talking to whoever is interested and sharing my experiences in the industry for the past 17 years in matters doing sound, especially location sound.
Indeed.
So all the young men and women out there who might be interested in hearing my experiences and picking a leaf one or two, please come to the National Theatre at 5:30 on the 10th of December.
this year.
Well, to continue the conversation on sound, I want to cross over to Ivan Walunyolo, who is with the DJ. Let him tell us, how does sound affect his job? Ivan.
Well, thank you so much, Idris. Of course, it's quite a cold morning, and I can say for the people who are driving to Entebbe, if you're using the Entebbe Expressway, please, you got to know that you slow down the speed because the road is a bit slippery, and given what comes with the rain, of course, somebody has got to know if you're using that Entebbe road. But quite an interesting conversation we've had in the studio, and now I want to switch your attention to the music industry, the DJing field, and of course, what comes with that. I am coming to you from Login Garuga, one of the best hangouts of place to speak about when you talk about Entebbe. But of course, we're also asking ourselves that as we approach the festive season, how can somebody called a DJ make money? How can a DJ operate, make money, inspire, but also try to promote the music industry? You've seen in the past that the conversation has been that a DJ who uses somebody's music, you are playing music which is not your own, how can you make sure that the person, I am playing Chameleon's music, Bebe Cole, Bobby Wine, and the rest of other artists, but how can they benefit from me as I also benefit from them? With me here, of course, is quite an interesting panel. I have a number of DJs renowned in Entebbe, and I just want to take a very quick introduction. I have DJ Victor 256 is there, of course. I have a DJ Drag, I have DJ Sacred Code also here, but also John X DJ, one of the best guys I can talk about when you mean to do hangouts in Entebbe. But I just want to ask them, what exactly that means when you are talking about a DJ, omuntu abeeranga DJ okuba music okola kinaye ekisookera ddala okubeera DJ ofunamu otya nga DJ mu kyokola nga DJ akuba music atali uwo ngwenga kyolina olina computer naye ate kyofunamu. Kandalike ne DJ John X wano wasuzote sebo bulungi okubeera DJ ofunamu otya naye ate o inspiring otya okubeera nti ekintu ekyo kifula professional n'okubeera nti oyimirira paka wetuli
okufula DJ
okubeera DJ. Yes,
olina okubanga wekkiririzaamu olina okubanga wekkiririzaamu n'ekirala beera smart, ekirala beera versatile wonna.
DJ naye akola research ya music.
Of course era akola research. Alina okukola research.
Olina okumanya nti ono music yafulumye leero, ono yafulumye last week, no yafulumye oba mwezi guwedde.
Kiro kyennyini.
Okay, DJ Secret Code.
Yes,
DJ afunamu atya mu kintu kino okubeera nti ogufuula mulimo si nti naawe oze kusanyukamu kusanyusa abalala naye naawe gufuula mulimo.
DJ nze DJ Secret Code gakusaasaanya. DJ okufunamu nze nfunamu nga nfunye gigi oba okufuna night ze nsobola okuba so wenfunamu nenfunamu akasente era ng'egyo tutambuza music w'abayimbi so twandyagadde n'abayimbi batulowoozeko tufune ka percentage yako.
Ate be baagala muba ate mwagala mu percentage.
Nati ffe tukola mulimu munene nnyo okuba naffe tutambuza endongo yaabwe ffe bagiteekayo ne tugijjayo ne tugitambuza ne bangebuna buli wamu.
Saawa ezo tugeze akawongeze omuyimbi yeebase ewaka bw'olikozesa content we kwenogera ku sente ate oyagala kusasule.
Nanti content we buli we mukozesa wano nze buli we mukuba ate waliwo agamba akayimba ako nkeetaaga deni n'agenda n'akasanga ye kitegeeza ku YouTube aba agenda kikuba era kagenda sigala kafuna views naze nkikoze eno naye yeebase ate nze ndi mu kiro ndi muku
gw'olifuna sente ku music we
naye afunira mu nze kubanga nze nkola kyamaanyi nnyo okumutunda.
Kakati wama drug omuyimbi bw'avaayo n'agamba nti bw'oba okozesa music wange olina okundabamu, olina okumpaayo ku ssente, olina okundabamu mu buntu. Mulowooza mwe nga ba DJ kyandibadde kitya?
Ekintu ekyo abayimbi bangi bakyerabira nti omuyimbi at first day ajja gyendi okumpa oluyimba nze omutunda. Kati nze we mutunda ate wafunamu nayagala ate ajje gyendi nze yamutunda ate muwe ssente. Ye ebiseera ebisinga agenda bugenzi mu studio n'afulumya oluyimba n'aluwa DJ n'alupromotinga naye kati nze kibakunze gwaluwadde oduzanya buli lunaku consecutive okulaba nti omuyimbi yakola ki omuyimbi yafuna.
Last kajugere ne DJ Victor in-house DJ nga DJ okola otya kubeera nti go driving audience ne agenda ebeerawo mu audience nga okuba music?
Amanya gage tuwa DJ Victor 256 kakati kyenjala okusooka okutandika nakyo njala osooka okwebaza abantu abo bonna bonna so
tulinayo dakiika ndowooza ng'emu eyewuwo. Yes.
Kati nze nganze
osoma otya audience n'okuba music nga yoyo gwe baagala tugeze bakadde baana batolina party ya high school bwe bityo.
otunuulira crowd y'abantu b'olina n'otunula osobola okuba otunuulira crowd osobola okulaba nga osobola okutunula n'olaba crowd gy'olina ng'olaba mulimu abazeeyi mulimu abavubuka so otunuulira crowd gy'olina neweesootinga deni n'olaba music kigoyina okuzannya.
Kale tugenda mu festive season just mu seconds nga 30 njagala tusooke tufune ekigenda abeera nga line up ya login kiki ekigenda abeerawo kiki ekirina omuntu okumanya nti mu butuufu olina obeera ku login okusanyuka tugenda line up tugenda mu Christmas festive time kiki ekiri ku login.
Okusooka nja sooka mbeyanjulire amanya gange.
We have only 30 seconds.
Yes, Patricia. But I would like to take you through of what will be happening. We are having a mega fiesta that will be running. Of course, Christmas Eve start on 23rd, but we are unveiling it on the 24th with it will be Christmas opening fiesta. It will be led by DJ Venus, and of course you're going to have a lot of entertainment from these people. Then when we roll into the 25th, that is the
and not forgetting
official.
the Azawi, which is 1st of Jan, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
So on the 25th, there shall be more music that will be.
Okay, we're kind of short of time, but of course, from the insights you're saying is that the Christmas festive is always quite packed, and Login has, of course, placed itself as one of the best to create a holiday for you. But as we will be performing here on the 1st of January, and somebody has got to come through and watch, and we're looking up to that mega concert that will be happening here. But of course, I earlier said that it's still a rainy time here in Entebbe, and if you're driving using the Entebbe Express, take it into your mind that slow down the speed beyond the recommended. Slow down. I've been there myself driving quite slowly, and you'll be safe from it. But for time reasons, now you let me get the conversation back to the studios. And if you can hear me, please take the conversation away from me. A very good morning to our audience.
Ivan, I've taken away the conversation from you. Welcome him. Thank you so much for that report, and the viewers who have been with us all day. As we conclude the conversation, gentlemen, I'm just going to give you 30 seconds to just one more word on the issue, and then we wrap up. Andrew.
Well, I want to help or just reassure content creators out there in the film industry. Sound is a very, very crucial part of an experience. You cannot live or tell your stories away from sound. Sound surpasses dimensions. It informs people of their surroundings. So it's very important that we pay attention as an industry. If we're going to compete on the global, if our films are going to have value, if our music, I was hearing the DJs talk, if our music is going to show any, like people always ask, what's the Ugandan sound? We can't have a sound if we're not paying attention to how it's mixed and mastered.
We can't.
Yes.
We can't.
Let's not have mediocrity. Let us pay attention. These days people know quality. We have internet. I can hear today what's happening in South Korea. I can hear today what's happening in England. I can hear today what's happening in Europe.
And in real time.
In real time. So it's very important for, it's very important for us to pay attention to sound and also give it its due respect.
Shantos.
Yes.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. I think just like Andrew said, it's key that we appreciate the importance of sound. And please let us not be the last department to be hired.
All right, Andrew.
I think I would say pay sound people their due. Yeah, that's all I would say.
All right, thank you so much for following us, being with us here.